Hello, everyone. Welcome to our fourth game dev video, or at least I think it's our fourth one. So today we're going to be painting a beach scene is what we're going for here. And this is going to be using the Cozy Fishing Asset Pack. I'll put the link in the description below if any of you are interested in having it. Oh my goodness, let's go down here. And I really enjoy the colors of this asset pack. I think they're very bright and fun and playful, which is why I like them so much. I just wish that the characters were a little bit more like Roots of Pacha, Stardew Valley, in that, oh, wrong tile set here. We need some water going on. And that the characters are like maybe a little bit more defined. So we've got our sand painted in. Oh my goodness. I just bought myself a brand new mouse because my other one, I was kind of struggling because it wasn't like the best size of a mouse for me. So I'm like, oh, I'll try this new one. And it's like super sensitive, which is like good, but it's going to take some adjusting. So we're just going to give ourselves some kind of water going on here. And then we can take this nice big block area and we can just oops, that might be blocking out too much. We'll go all the way down here. Give ourselves a nice big beach area with like a lot of water. We can always make the tile map a bit smaller later if we want to, because I'm sure there's going to be like a lot of water section that just is not used. But that's okay. For now, we're just going to paint and have a little fun and see what we can come up with. Now, I have originally done a beach tile map on a different version of Unity, and I ended up just kind of like scrapping that version of the game because the new version of Unity had come out, and I was kind of doing coding off of a course and some videos, and it kind of quickly turned into spaghetti. So I want to like get it a bit more cleaner. So I decided, you know what, fresh start might not be so bad. So I kind of just scrapped it all and started over. And hopefully this will be the version that sticks. Now, the good part about scrapping things and starting over is every time you do it, you get a little bit better. So that does make me feel a lot better because it just gets better every time I do it, which is fantastic. So the fun part about all of these water tiles is just getting everything all nice and filled in and having those really good transitions. And this was something that took a while for me to catch on to. I can do it like a bit faster now, but there was a time where I was like absolutely terrible at trying to figure out what tile I wanted where. And it would take me hours and I'd maybe think about it too hard. I probably should have just like played with it some more and I probably would have done a lot better with it. But now we're getting like that beach look coming out here, which is fantastic. I enjoy making video games so much. And I realize that like a farming RPG is like, it is a really big challenge to take on. And it's not even like a money thing for me. It's like, can I actually do this? Like, is it something that I can legitimately accomplish doing? So it's almost like I've set it up as more of like a challenge for myself just to see if I could actually do it. And the learning is so much fun and challenging. Like there are some times where I just get so frustrated when something does not want to work and I feel like it should work, but I'm like, ah, I messed something up somewhere and I just don't know where I went wrong. And it's like those times when you just kind of have to take a bit of a breath and leave it alone for a bit and come back to it. And then when you finally figure out what it was you did wrong, it is like the best feeling in the world. Dun, dun, dun. Making our beach like a little narrower, but that's okay. We can always make it bigger if we want to. Now, the fun part about this, like if I really wanted to, like if I got these curves that I really liked, I can actually take my little selector and I can actually grab this and I could just go and paint it, like repaint it in places if I really wanted to. But I think I'm just having fun doing it just a couple blocks at a time. It's a handy tool, and if I need to move stuff later, I 100% use it. Like, oh my goodness. It's happened a few times where I'm like, I'll look at something and I'm like, oh, it looks okay, but it's not like where exactly I want it to be, but I don't want to redo it. So I'll just select it and redo it. And it's like really good because if you have multiple layers on your tile maps, which highly recommend because it makes life so much easier. Yeah, let's just do that one there. Because I'm notorious for painting stuff on a layer I didn't intend to. And the reason why you have multiple layers is if you wanted to paint sand like this on top of like pre-existing sand, if you did it on the exact same layer, what you're going to have is that little bit of a transparent spot here. So I'll just fill that back in. But if we were to switch to a different layer, so I have like several layers on my tile map already. But for the sake of example, if I wanted to have a sand mound on top of a sand mound, we no longer get that transparent area anymore because this is on a higher level of our tile map. What we're currently painting on is just the very bottom layer. And then anything else will kind of just stack on top of our initial layer. Okay, let's just keep this going here. Oh my goodness. Yep, sensitive mouse. Don't you dare left click in the wrong spot. Oh, I love it. I'm like, the one thing I haven't gotten brave enough yet is these kinds of tiles. I'm like, I haven't quite figured out what I would want to use them for. Like, is it just if I wanted to build like islands really close together or put some kind of a stream somewhere? Maybe. I haven't gotten brave enough to play with those. I find doing game dev logs stressful. Like, I want to do them, but at the same time, I think I get like a little panicked, like a little self-conscious because I'm so new to doing all of the game dev stuff that I'm just like, I don't know, what if it's not good enough? But then I have to remind myself, I'm like, I'm new. Like other people probably would love to start this for the first time too. And it's probably great if they can find someone else who's kind of like just stumbling along and can kind of give them like a little bit of reassurance. So I think we kind of went a little overboard with some of our dips here. So, like I said before, we can just kind of grab this eyedropper tool rather than like redoing everything. And you know what? Let's grab a smaller area yet. Or do we have like a really, not like super big curve, but just like not as intrusive? Just trying to think. I'm like, I don't want this to be like super pointed here, so we can do that. And then we can kind of go back and touch this area up a bit too. Kind of want to give it like, I don't want it to be symmetrical. I want it to be something like you could legitimately go out and find in nature. And this looks kind of too sharp of a curve here. So why don't we give this like a bit of a smoother curve to it as well. And this is where I can spend hours doing this stuff because I just have so much fun with it. And you can constantly play around with these things. So it's always like good to find a stopping point somewhere along the line. Okay, so we smooth this out and then we kind of still have like this really big dip. I wonder if it could be like a little, have like a little cove or something in here. This is always the fun part because this is like whatever we want it to be. But I think I'll just like gradually smooth this out a little bit. That might be still too sharp. Let's kind of give it a bit more of a softer edge here. Oh my goodness. That's what I'm looking for. And then, oh, right, different, you know what? We've got wider water. Oh my goodness. Paint it on here so we can kind of just repaint over some of this. Not a problem. I think that's why I get scared to go back to pixel art. Like why I really want to get back to it, but I'm like, it's at a point where I'm like, it's not perfect, but it's not terrible either. And I'm like scared that I'm gonna go back and ruin it. It's like a legitimate fear. And I'm just like, with the amount of layers that I put on, it would be fine. Let's see if I can just grab my player here and just move her out of the way. I'm legitimately painting around her because I'm like, oh yeah, that spot on the map. I don't want to ruin that. And I'm just like, maybe we should just get rid of that. And let's maybe smooth out this curve too. We could like drag it out some more. Just kind of give it more of like a gentler curve to it. It doesn't have to be like so sharp. And that's stuff that I have to remind myself of too. I'm just like, oh, it doesn't have to be perfect the first time. We can mess around and play with it and do whatever we'd like to our heart's content. So it's like kind of coming along. I like that we have like this little bit of like a wave look. I think this area is still like too sharp. I don't like that. So let's maybe bring it forward a bit. And we'll just slowly kind of just pull it back in here. There's no need to rush. Maybe we'll just kind of pull it back a bit. And then we'll go in for the connection right about here. Okay, now the other side. Dun, dun, dun. Okay, so if we do this and we just round it out here. And let's see how this looks. There we go. I'm like, I want to give it some shape. Maybe we'll like suck this, push it out a little bit. I'm like, I don't want anything. I want it like jagged, but not like super stretched. I went too overboard maybe with our starting area here. Okay, let's see if we pull it maybe up here a little bit. It's funny like what just a couple tiles can do. And maybe we'll just like suck it back in here just a little bit. Just give it like a little bit of shape before it has to like join back to everything else. Dun, dun, dun. Now, the one thing I haven't done, and maybe at the end of this, we'll take a tour because I've painted a few scenes now. I did quite a few on my own just for fun. So I kind of like have my initial ideas that I go off of, and I'm like, can I make those ideas better now? Like, have I gained more perspective and knowledge that I can like it's really funny. I'll have to show you some of the before and afters because I can tell that I was not very creative and I was pretty rigid the first time I did some of my tile maps. And I think it's hysterical because now I look at them and I'm like, oh, we can make this look so much better now. Okay, so that's like our initial layout that we've got going on. And I want to grab some of our green. I kind of marked, I have like my transition tile here. And let's do that one because I shouldn't have painted that one. Just going to grab some initial green ones here and two. So this is kind of like the entrance where my player will enter into the scene from another scene. And in my initial one, I had like a little grass path going to some docks, and the grass kind of just looks out of place to me now. So I'm just like, oh, we need to do something to like jazz it up. So maybe we'll have like some grass coming out here, and you'll kind of get why when you see the tile map that it joins up to. I'm like, maybe I should have like made this more of like a trend thing. Whoops, we're getting too carried away. That's like the other problem, trying to draw with a straight line using a mouse. I don't know why, but I am terrible at it. Just kind of like make this nice grassy area here. All nice and pretty. Dun, dun, dun. And I'll try to, I don't know if this is correct or not. Like, I mean, I haven't made a full video game in my life. So I have no idea if methods I use are like really right, wrong, or anywhere in between. But I'm like, at the moment, for my knowledge level, I'm like, you know what? If it works, at the end of the day, I'm happy with that. If I learn how to do it better, I can come back and change it then. Because what I've really been learning the most about game dev is it's all about making mistakes, learning how to do things better, and not being afraid to just go back and play with things. You really need to like go and experiment. And sometimes you'll stumble across something that works better than you originally had, which is fantastic. And sometimes you're just, maybe you were right the first time and your new idea just wasn't as good as you thought, but you never know until you give it a shot. Okay, perfect. So now I think we'll take some of these grassy tiles and we're going to do like a very similar idea with what we did with the water. We're just kind of going to outline all of our grass area with our newfound grassy tiles just to give it like that extra texture, which I love. I really wish the grass was like more textured, and I'm trying to get myself brave enough as a pixel artist or, a beginner pixel artist to experiment. And I actually have gone and I've tweaked some tiles in some of these tile sets, like not severe tweaks, like we're talking like fairly minor tweaks that I would feel comfortable with doing. But oh my goodness, it's like, I don't know. I always get scared that I'm going to ruin something, but I'm like, you know what? I'm not like doodling on like the main asset. It's like a different layer, different version, different. I'm like, I'm not going to ruin anything. Pip, you need to be brave. You got to put yourself out there. You'll never know unless you actually give it a try. Dun dun. Okay, and then we'll just drift off to the side. Whoops, wrong one. I don't know. There's something like very soothing about painting tile maps. It's just kind of relaxing. It's like a good way to de-stress after a long day. Okay, so that side we've got going, and now for our other side. Okay, we've got a little bit of mismatch going on here, so let's just get that all nice and fixed. There we go. And pretty soon it's gonna like hopefully be a very pretty map, like something you will want to play on. At the end of the day, that's kind of the goal, right? Just to make it look fun and enjoyable and like something that someone would want to have a character run through the scene and do a whole bunch of stuff. The only thing that I haven't really done with my scenes yet is really put on a bunch of like trees, forageables, that kind of stuff. I have like the odd thing here or there, but I haven't gone too overboard with it. I'm like, I don't know, I think I'm a little scared to fully decorate the scenes at the moment. I'm like, I'll get there. Gotta wait for that point of being brave. Okay, so we have some grass coming in on the sides of our beach. We have our sand and we have our water. So, we've got a good start to our beach going here, which is excellent. And then this package also comes with like some docks. Oh my goodness, how did I? I'll show you guys. I'll show you guys what I did in my original. So in my original, this is what I had initially designed. So this is like my little bit of grass that I put on, and now I'm like, I don't really know. Like I did it because I wanted to have like a path, but I'm like, it's not a very good path. So what I'm looking at right now is this dock here. And I'm like, how on earth did I manage to get this dock going and this dock going when clearly all I used was this right here? I must have gotten very creative one day. So let's take a peek. I bet if no, we don't want to look at our player here. Let's pop open the asset itself. I think I probably got carried away. Beach tiles. And let's open them up. Dollars to donuts. I bet I made a 16 by 16 tile because that's what these tiles are set at. They're just a 16 by 16 pixel tile. I'm willing to bet I just plopped these right in the middle here. And let's duplicate that. Now, these two will be exactly the same. The difference here will be the water. And that's what I really like about this asset set is that they do ones that have shadows and ones without shadows. So it really depends on how detailed of a game you want. Like if you want to mess around with shadows, the artist is like, yep, I've included it. Here you go have fun. Love it. Now with this and our docs down here. So what I have to do is I have to add our two new tiles in here. And we're going to have to save those. So I'm just going to save them into my already existing tile map. And that one. Okay, now let's see how these look when I go to paint them. And this is kind of my cheaty way of, how would I put it? Like making assets go farther than they probably should. Okay, yep, that is 100% how I did it. Now the only thing I have to work on is this area right here because it's not going to sit very flush, right? We're going to have a very weird looking dock. So I'll have to go back in here and do a little bit more tweaking. So we're going to need another 16 by 16 tile. And I think I'm going to want to use the shadows. So I'll stick one right here. And more importantly, we will stick one right up here. So the nice part is, and artists, I tell you, have to be so talented because they have to very intentionally give you enough room to be able to make that tile without collecting any of the posts on the sides. Like, it just blows my mind. Okay, so we've got our two new tiles here. This one's going to be, you know what? I can already see that one's going to be a problem. Let's just go and grab our water one here without it. Because what will happen is when we want to extend the outer water docks, we're only going to want the water around the actual post, and we're not going to want it around the ones without the posts. Look at the genius in the design. Like, It is fantastic. Okay, now let's get these added. Okay, so I think I'll just pop this one down here. I highly doubt I will need that one, but we're going to put it there anyway. Now it's just a matter of figuring out, I think this one should go up here. And this one should go down here. Excellent. Okay, so now I should just be able to... Why are you going... Have I painted on this tile? Oh, I did. This is where it's like selecting weird tile maps. So this is where I'll grab it. I'll go to the tile map that I originally wanted. I see another problem that we'll have to deal with here. We're going to go to ground 2 is what we'll paint it on, and then I can just flip back to the wrong tile map and erase it. So what I'm seeing here is I have my little post here, but I think that was not included on the tiles I had selected, so I think we're okay. Anyways, let's grab these 3 for now and make sure we're on the right tile map. Oh my goodness, give myself a heart attack here. And it's kind of like a matter of how wide do I want the dock to be. Now this is where, oh my goodness, I've already forgotten the name of the character I was drawing the pixel art portrait. Oh, that's terrible. Okay, well, if I ever remember her name, her little fishing shack cabin is going to be out on the dock. Oh, I can tell that I goofed there. Excellent. And then this is going to be like the very edge of our dock. Ah, that's where I grabbed it. I see now. And this is my one struggle. Let's modify some tiles some more. I wonder if I can do that, if I can get the tile without grabbing that little tiny bit of a corner that is driving me crazy. Thinking hard. We'll think about that a little bit. I'm not sure that I can grab that properly. This side has no issues whatsoever. Love it. Okay, so it's just that side. So this might be me needing to go into Photoshop and just manipulating this little corner here so that these will actually line up correctly. And that'll be something I will have to do another day. But for now, it'll be okay. It'll get the job done. Give us our idea here. So then I'll have to put these 2 tiles out because they have the very top of our post here. That's always something I have to be mindful of. And now that I've done that, I'm going to need... Uh-oh. Did I not grab that right? Totally didn't. Oh, too funny. No, I should just put a full tile. Full tile, that's what we want. And this does not look like it lined up correctly, so there we go. We want the same color of a board like running across the screen. It wouldn't look too good if we had changing boards all of a sudden. Okay, so now we're going to put that one on and get the rest of that water feature in there. I love it. It's so beautiful. Just got to make sure we paint the whole thing on there. There we go. So there we go. We have a dock already. So fantastic. We should be able to pop a little house on. That's something I always have to keep in mind is like how big are the houses? And you won't be able to see that right away because we've got it on yet a different level. So there, I think we did like a nice size dock for our house here. So we'll be able to put a few other things out on the dock if we want. I could like stretch the dock out more if we wanted to, because we know how like in Stardew Valley we have like a nice big kind of like L-shaped dock, and then we have a really funny fun shaped dock. Like we could do all of that if we wanted to. Okay. But we want to make this like completely and totally our own. I could put the house in the middle too, but I'm like, I don't know. I think maybe like off to the side one way would probably be. Oh my goodness, I just moved a tile map. That wouldn't be good. Person could run on either side. Like this is the game dev struggle. It's like you could put the house anywhere. And I'm seeing unmatched boards again to drive me crazy. There we go. I didn't realize I messed so many of those up. Okay, there we go. Part of me would love to just continue the color pattern, but it just doesn't work with the way the board's lined up at the bottom, but that's okay. It looks good. I'm enjoying that. And then what else did we have on our other dock? Oh, right. There was like a little kind of like beach bar with this asset pack too. So in this one, I put the little house or the shop in the middle, and then I kind of like chopped out the dock here. So again, it's kind of like all up to your imagination. You can kind of do whatever you would like to do. Put some like little beach umbrellas out and some chairs. I got some sand castles on the beach. So I'm probably going to need another area as well. So why don't we go take care of that? Hmm. I'm like, I put it over here last time, but maybe it would be like nice and cozy over here. This is what happens when you have full control over just about anything. The options are officially endless. Okay, so I think I'll keep it kind of like on this little bit of an area here. I'll get these painted on. Oh, make sure I grab the correct one as I'm like losing my voice again. Oh my goodness. How far down should we go with this? Like as far out, maybe like a little farther out. What if we connected them? Like, wouldn't that be kind of fun? They could have like this little walkway path kind of between the two. Just like paint it across. And I don't know, that would leave a gap, wouldn't it? Because I'm gonna say it'd be kind of fun if we had like little posts every so often, so it didn't look like it was just like forever chilling out there, but that's okay. I just kind of like push it right in. It's the top post we need back. Oh no, I'm gonna have to move that. Okay, not a problem. It will get in the way of the post, so we'll just nudge it up. And then I'll just erase the bottom part here. Like fixing stuff is so easy sometimes, and other times it is so difficult. Okay, what kind of board patterns do we got going on here? That would be like the next thing we have to watch for. Do we have the right boards going across the screen? Because I get a little particular with things about that, so I'm just like, oh, it's got a problem there. Let's just erase that one completely. Okay, that's taken care of. So now we can just go back across here and just fill in our, oops, little blank areas. Yeah, we can just have boards magically switching blank colors across the way. It's all good. Oh, looks like we need, uh-oh. Nothing like an uh-oh to get your day going. And back over here. Okay, now if you want to finish off the dock here, just gonna get it all nice and placed. And that's the nice part too. We can just grab multiple assets out and it's like all nice and happy with us. And we're like, fantastic. Okay, now there's one spot here. Okay, so we now have like our little fishing area, and then we could have like our little bar area over here. Just make it pop up so we can actually see it. And then we'll be able to like add little tables and, oh, there's another one. Let's get that nice and fixed here. There. Okay, so now we have like that nice little connection. Now I'm kind of curious, what do I have for, like maybe some kind of railing would be nice. I don't think I have anything in here. Oh, okay, we do have like actual fence posts, but I don't know if we pop it on up, like safety rails. Should we give them some safety rails? Yeah, maybe. Um, that's actually a really bad spot to put those. Not on the tile map itself, just on that particular layer of the tile map. And I'll show you why when we get our character moving around on here. Okay, that one will be fine. And then for the sake of our awesome appearance here, we can do this one across here. Okay, so we kind of like got our very weird our very weird bridge going on. Oh my goodness. I'm like, I have no idea if I love this or hate this at the moment. What if we did this one across? Because then it will join up with the other one better. Because I'm like, we could just run this kind of like down the side and then it won't look like so mismatched. Okay. Got a little bit going on there. Let's just turn the corner over here. I don't think those are matching up very well. Oh, dun, dun. Why are you angry with us? That's definitely an end post. Oh, middle post, please. Interesting. These two should connect very nicely. There we go. Oh, that's better. That makes me feel better. And these are the things I really have to look for when I'm painting because, oh my goodness. And that one there. It's just such a good feeling when it just all starts coming together. Okay, so that one's happy. This one is relatively happy. I'm like, oh, do we bend the corner? We could kind of just give it the rest of the side rails. This one doesn't need it as badly. Let's just take that one off because we're covering our post here. No, that one's just not going to have any. It's just going to end there. Oh, maybe we'll just go like that. There we go. It's just ending there. And did I totally went over it. There. Now, if you came to a grinding halt, I'm like looking for something like similar to an ending piece. Not really seeing it, but that's okay. We'll just let it chill like that for a minute. Like we don't have to, we could just maybe throw this one on right there. Maybe it doesn't need to go farther than that. Maybe we're just happy having our nice little walkway right there. Okay, so let's maybe look at our sand again. So if we do like a nice quick look at our sand, we have like a couple different tiles. And if we really want to get creative, and let's get onto our main tile here, these are all going to be like the exact same tile. And I'm like, oh yeah, this is a different one. I'm like, I'm not sure which one I initially grabbed. So let's just kind of scribble everywhere and give it some personality here. And let's do a couple of these just for kicks and giggles. Give our give our beach some added personality here. Maybe grab that one. Okay, so now that I have gone a little too overboard, there we go. I can grab the stuff that we just played with. If we select it, all nice and dandy. And we can kind of just paint it all over the place to give it extra pep and pizzazz. And I probably should have done this at the very start before I got really carried away with painting all of my pretty edges and everything else, but that's okay. We're going to make do with this and we'll touch it up where we need to. Okay, so let's just grab this little chunk and we can paint it. Oh, of course, I made it like just a little bit too big. Take it right to the edge there. This area looks like it could use some extra attention. And same with this. And then we just need to focus on our very close entrance here. So again, I'll just take a bunch of the different colors, or not different colors, but different patterns. And I'll just paint it kind of like all over the place. Give it some personality. We like personality in our games, don't we? Okay, so now I'm just going to look for anything that is like way too close together and just not happy. You know what? I think we did like pretty good. Let's maybe just throw some more stuff over here because I can't remember if we got like right to the edge. Okay. So, it's like all in that feel good area. It's like it looks good, it looks okay, it's feeling okay. Except for maybe right in here. Maybe throw a couple more of like the little darker tiles in. Click a couple of these in. And maybe something like that. Okay. So, it's kind of like the start of our wonderful beach map that we have going on. So right this minute, let me just see what I've got going on my player. I'll be right back. All right, so now that we've done a little painting and everything, the next best part is actually just loading the game up and running our character around the scene a little bit to see how it initially feels. And I have a completely black screen. Dun dun dun, one moment. All right, so after a couple little adjustments here, let's take a look at our scene. Okay, so we have the grass and we have the sand, and the sand looks interesting. We need to go and make our grass look more interesting. We don't have colliders, so we can just run wherever we would like to at the moment. Isn't that fun? Now, because of the way, oh, I have to fix that one. Because of the way I painted these tiles on, these ones appear in front of the character and these ones appear behind the character. So we're going to have to go and adjust the ones on the ends by the looks of it. Yeah, because we've got a little oops going on here. But again, because we don't have colliders, we can go wherever we want. So why don't we quickly give those little and pieces to our beach. Let's go fix up our layering here. I think it must have been ground 2. These are painted on. Oh, no, definitely not. What tile map are we painted on? You are, oh, on 3. Yep, okay, that explains it. Our character will appear on top of my ground 1, 2, 3, and decorations. My character will also appear in front of these. Our fronts, our character will appear behind. And that's just like the order in which the tile maps are layered, or at least the way that I have layered them for this game, which I'll put a link to the course that I have been taking and learning how to do all of this game dev stuff, especially from a farming perspective. Now, it is like a little bit more advanced coding. So if you're just starting to get into game development and coding and all of that fun stuff, I would highly recommend just watching some YouTube videos on coding and getting a feel for it before you go into the course, or you might feel extremely overwhelmed with the coding. But just learning how to, like, just grabbing the course just to learn how to paint tile maps and properly layer things, like, so cool. I've learned how to do our wonderful little game clock that we have in the corner and the toolbar, which at the moment we have nothing in. There we go. Look at this. We're not having that issue anymore with the fence posts appearing behind us all of a sudden. So excellent. That's what we want. We'll eventually get colliders in so we can't walk around through all of this fun stuff. So for the moment, why don't we just take a little tour and you guys can see what other tile maps I have gotten into painting. So this is the road that is going towards the beach. Now I did put a couple trees in here just for the sake of seeing what it would look like. Like, look how beautiful those trees are. Like, this is again like that cozy asset pack. And I've got some grass. Now, this course, you can learn how to nudge this grass, and I just think it looks so amazing. And this one, I actually do have collider set on this tile map, so we can't run through the fence posts anymore. And another thing this course will teach you is how to fade a bush when you go and walk behind it. Now, the fade's a little strong on this, so I have to go and back that off. But I just think it's so cool. Like, look at this. We can go and nudge the crops growing in a field. Like, how neat is that? So I've got a bunch of crops growing in the field we can nudge. We've got a house. I don't think I have a collider on that house. We can probably just walk right through it if we wanted to. This is the stuff we have to test. Like, this is why I get scared, like with trees and stuff, because I should set up like a prefab for my tree and then I can just populate it everywhere. But because I haven't taken the time to do that yet, I don't want to throw out trees. Otherwise, I'll have ones that you can just magically walk through. And now we can pick up stuff. How cool is that? And again, we have like, can't go into our fenced off area. Oh, I see I have a little boo-boo there. I'll have to fix it another time. And then this is going to go into our farmyard. So this is exciting. So I've got some water going down here, which is pretty fun. And we have like a huge field for planting. And then I've just thrown a bunch of stuff just for playing around and testing things. So that's like lots of fun. We can put stuff in our inventory. We've got tools we can pick up. Ignore the dinky little scythe there. That So my only complaint about this asset pack is that it does not come with a scythe. So that's not supposed to happen. Okay, I've got something set funny. That should have taken us into our player's house. So I'll have to go check on that later. We won't venture into the house at the moment. I must have tweaked something odd. This is why we run around and do tests and all that fun stuff. Dun, dun, Duh. Okay, let's see if up here will work. Fingers crossed I set up everything correctly. Dun, dun, dun. So like the fading out between scene transitions. Okay, good, this one worked. So this is the town that I have going so far. And oh my goodness, this has taken hours upon hours to just like design and figure out where I want to put stuff. And I'm honestly not even sure if if this is going to be like a final layout. So I have little holes in the fences because I have like little gates that I can put in. So I want to get those added. Like, just look at how beautiful it is. Like, I'm like, I would want to play this game. I mean, I'm still like a little sad that the character isn't like as big as I would like, but I mean, not having to draw these myself because it would probably take me years just to do it. Now, I have two of these little bakery coffee shops side by side. I've actually recolored this one and I just haven't imported it yet. It's actually going to be a florist shop because it didn't come in the initial asset pack. So what I did was I like recolored this building and changed the logo and took out all the cakes in the windows and put flowers and stuff all in there. So, I'll get to that. It'll get added. It was just get an idea for like building spacing. And this would be the town asset pack that you can get with that cozy farming asset. And then I have like a little graveyard over here. These flowers do not nudge. I haven't gotten around to doing that. Like, I mean, it just is so overwhelming and there's so much in here. Like I said, this took hours just to paint and lay things out. And I'm like, is it too spaced out? I'm not 100% sure yet. I might have to shrink some of the tile maps. And then here we kind of just have like a fun little transition area. So we have like a little pond over here. I really want to figure out how to get the effect of water moving. I think that would look so cool. And I love the transparent water in Stardew Valley. I'm a little scared to try and tackle it. Unfortunately, I haven't painted a tile map that goes down here yet. So we've kind of like explored every tile map I have gotten around to creating for the moment, aside from the farmhouse, which the scene transitioner does not seem to be working for at the moment. So I'll have to go and get that fixed. But yeah, this one out here isn't set up either. So it's kind of like just the basic outline. We've got a couple little transition areas. Oh, I guess there's one more just south of the farm I think I've set up, if that one will work too. Like, just look at these little flowers and stuff. And this is what we need to add to our beach layout is just some of these little decorative spots. So it's just not like solid green. That's where I get really envious of like Roots of Pacha and Stardew Valley, where they have like super beautiful grass tiles. And I'm like so envious. And I wish I was artistic enough to like go ahead and design them all. I haven't designed any of the interiors of the buildings in this version. I haven't had a chance to bring them over from the other version of the game that I created, but no worries, they'll get there. And then we'll be able to take a peek. I think I showed off the bakery and we started designing a little bit of the fishing shop before, so I had to re-put all of that in here. Dun, dun, dun. Do we end up in the right place? This is like gives me anxiety. Okay, so here is a little train station. Oh, I didn't realize that it said town station on there. That's interesting. I might have to like go in and fix that. I have Collider set up on this, which is why it looks nice and solid, which was a little tricky because I wasn't quite sure how to do it in a way that felt good, but I'm happy with the way it turned out so far. So we have train tracks. So Stardew Valley has its like minecart system. Roots of Pacha has like its magical little pathway. And these assets came with a train station. So I'm like, you know what? We are going to use trains to get around this village. Easy peasy, I think. Easier said than done. So yeah, we have like our little island over here. Oh, I should fix this up too. Oh my goodness, I'm seeing so many things I have to touch up. I need to get rid of this wall where the water is. I should be like making notes as I tour you guys around. All of the stuff Pip sees and Pip needs to fix like ASAP before I move on and forget, because that's like the terrible feeling. Okay, so we have our train station, we have our farm, we have our town, we have a couple transition areas. That's kind of what this area is over here, technically. It's just kind of like a transition area between our farm going over to like a bigger area. And I decided for funds, just for nice funsies, I would put a house in there with a field. And then I'll come up with like a nice, fun NPC with a cool backstory that we can put in there. And I'm kind of wondering if I really upset my computer. It's thinking really hard. Okay, that's creeping me out here. I feel it running pretty hot at the moment. My poor little laptop is just, I don't think, quite made to do all of this, and I'm pushing it pretty hard. So before we go, I think one of the last things I would like to do, I kind of, I think you might have, well, you would have seen it. I had nice little borders around the edge of my little farm area and all of my other tile sets, which some of them were not completely set up properly because I got a little too ambitious in places, it seems. Let's grab these ones. The green isn't going to match perfectly, so I may have to do some recoloring. Like, there's nothing I love more than playing around with assets in, let's make sure we put this on ground 3 before I'm like, get too carried away. Oh, so much better. I love this tool. I can drag, and if it's not a straight line, I just don't have to let go. So for the initial part, we'll just do this like right here. I wonder, will it look really goofy if I switch to the beach ones? The beach ones just have like these sandy ones, which would be kind of cool, right? Because I'm gonna play. You could paint this on here, right? And you can have like your different levels. So we can have like this area that's like popping out of the sand. And this is how Pip gets so carried away making tile maps because it's like, oh, how cool is this? And, just all of a sudden we have this little thing poking out of the sand and we can just give it extra depth. And I'm like, oh, hey, maybe it has another level here. Who knows? Dun, dun, dun. And this is how you suddenly give extra depth to your top-down game. That probably won't stay. I will probably take that off, but just for the sake of having fun and experimenting, let's go to the ground tile set. I think I have spring tiles. This almost like a ladder. It's not like an actual ladder, but we could pretend that it is like a kind of, it is kind of like stairs, right? So then we could have our character be able to like just climb up the little, oh my goodness, what if you did that and had like a little lighthouse? Oh, suddenly this seems like such a good idea. We could have like a little lighthouse that I realize I would probably have to try and draw pixel art for. Okay, so we could have like a nice little lighthouse tower up here. I suddenly like that. I might make it bigger and while we're having fun, yeah, let's make it bigger. Let's have some fun with it. Dun, 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 dun. And this is how fun ideas that keep you decorating stuff for hours upon hours suddenly arises. No, that's fine. Let's go back to our beach tiles. Let's just grab our solid one here because I just kind of grabbed the sandy bottom area. But you know what? We could have Oh my goodness. Think of the word, Pip. Just think of the word. Let's get that a bit more. Oh, I didn't center it very well. That's okay. I could do that later. There we go. I totally forgot whatever it was I was going to say. I do apologize. Bring that back there. This is how the fun ideas just suddenly happen, and you don't think you're going to spend a lot of time just doing a tile map, and suddenly inspiration strikes you, and voila. Okay, the only thing that I don't like is that little piece there. And the reason why it looks like that is because that is on ground layer 1. So if you want to get rid of that, we would have to just, there we go. Look at that. The sand is gone. And suddenly we have this nice rise that we could throw a lighthouse tower on if I ever get around to making making the asset. Oh, I love it. Okay, all of this just pops up from playing around with adding extra depth to things. Let's make sure I grab the right tiles here. It's just fun little things like that. Like, you just get to use your imagination so much, and it's just so much fun. Yeah, ground tile set. Let's go. So yeah, I'll make sure that I put a link to all of the asset packs that I have used in this game so far down in the description below if any of you are interested. Like I said, I absolutely love them. They're just like so much fun. I love how bright and colorful they are. And now the beach tiles, and this is how I got sidetracked. Oh, they're actually a different depth too. Interesting. Okay. So what if, like back to experimenting. Oh, those are the town tiles. Patience as my poor little laptop tries to load. I have a more powered up computer. I really need to move my game over so I can use that to do all of my game dev stuff. And then I'm sure it would work a lot faster. Okay, let's just end that there. And we'll just move over and do that there too. And beach tiles. Now, if we just maybe pulled from up here, it'll just be like a little narrow passage. Oops. I just like leaving definite indicators that the map is going to end. I just think it's like the polite thing to do for the players so they don't get aggravated thinking that there's like something else that they can go see. But I don't know, maybe players enjoy that. I don't know that I would though, so that's why I think I put it in. And then the water we'll just leave alone. Okay, so there we have it, the start of our beach tiles, and we're on ground 3. Okay, that'll be fine. Let's maybe do ground 2. I haven't painted a lot on ground 2, which makes me feel better. So this is how we give our grass a little extra texture and flavor. Just kind of like throw some of these out here. Mhm. Grab a few, paint them around, make it look all nice and fun. We've got like some of these look so cool. And I always struggle with this after a while. Like I usually try to paint an area and then I'll like grab a chunk of it and then I'll just start repasting it everywhere because it's so much faster. But when it's like really tight spots like this and it's not like a whole map that we're doing, like in our transition areas where there's a lot of grass, I usually just paint a little area and then I'll just take my little fun tool and drag it all over the place. Okay, so now this one is like too close, so I'll just get rid of that one. And maybe that one. I don't like them side by side. It looks too chunky. I feel like there should be like a little space between things. That's just my feel anyway. Okay. And this is where I usually like box myself in, so I can't put anything here. And then if it looks too bare, I have to shuffle things around some more. And I'm just like, Pip, why do you do this to yourself? And I'm just like, yeah, I was just having fun. I was just trying to figure out what works. So there's like nothing, we need to fix this. I'm like, there's like nothing in this column here, so maybe that's not even the one I should be fixing. Let's get rid of that one. And it's so funny because I was just like random painting, right? It wasn't even like I was paying attention to where I was putting things. And yet I end up with like these little bald spots, and I'm like, are we okay with that? Are we like, I keep like, look at this. I have this habit. I'm like clicking a lot of them in the exact same row or the exact same column. Yeah, that's that's just the reality of painting with Pip. Got that one over there. Oh, we got one over there. Let's grab the little one. Here we go. And then we got this little area over here too. We'll try to be like a little, hopefully more random. Oh yes, I'll just paint the whole area and maybe I'll just erase. Oh my goodness. Okay, that scares me. I do that so often. I'll accidentally grab the dumping tool and just about give myself a heart attack. I feel like, what's going on? Don't do that. Oh my goodness, I'm putting a whole bunch in that one row again. Terrible for it. Absolutely terrible. Dun, dun, dun. I'll play my game later and I'll be like, Pip, what were you thinking? That's like way too close together. You should space things out some more. I'm like, yeah, I know. I should better plan. Look at this. That's what the eraser is for, everyone. For failed placement of things. Already done that one. Let's maybe do this little guy. And this is where it gets hard trying to space them out because there's too many. It's like too many, but at the same time, you know it's not enough. Okay, there we go. Do you want any of these ones anywhere? Do we have any places for it? Oh, one spot. Let's try to space this out. Like, okay. There we go. Just trying to like, there. We're getting it now, slowly but surely. Okay. So now that we have all of our little fun things going on, eventually I'd like to add some rocks too, but I think that's stuff I want to add colliders on, so I'm not going to get too crazy about that. So let me just save this for a moment as I paint something way out in the boonies. Okay, and then I'll just unload this. And let's take a look at our grass now that we've added things to it. It should look more interesting and less just a green wall. Okay, here we go. See, look how much more character our grass has now. Like it feels better. It's time consuming sometimes, but like I said, if you have a big patch, you can do what we did with the sand and just kind of sprinkle some over and then just grab them and repaint them and then just erase ones as needed so they're not like super clustered. There we go. And then we don't have colliders, so we can just like run straight to the top of the tower. But ideally, we'll only be able to use the stairs to get down. How neat, right? Fantastic. All right, everyone. Thank you all so much for joining me in this wonderful little sporadic game dev video. I hope you all enjoyed it, and I will see you next time.